for the pole and the body. Like, you gotta understand, man, you still did time for that, and you still ain't really looking back at that like that was something that you can really avoid this time. You looking like this shit still going on, like you can get up out that gym real quick. No, dumbass, you should have instantly got somebody, got four of them. You could have got Wooski to hold the pole or something. We all know for a fact that you be going to Wooski crib. You don't go live with Wooski in the room because you don't want people knowing that you at Wooski crib. Like, that's some other shit. Like, we all know for a fact that this is something that we all could see. We can see through this shit. Like, at the end of the day, Lil J know what he did and Lil Durk know what he did. Lil Durk, he know that he gonna realize end up facing the consequences for the OTF Rico indictment, man. Y'all gotta understand, man. The receipts here.
Yeah, man. And shout out to Matt Roberts. He said if Lil J gets convicted on this, being on parole, getting a gun charge as a convicted felon, that's 40 years until
He
he's 40
still
years
got,
old.
you feel me? He
He could
still gotta
still,
serve the rest of his time. He still
the
gotta
rest of
serve the rest.
that's concurrent or consecutive, man. And it's up to the law team to decide what happened, man, because now you see how Lil J never spent the money to move out of the hood. So now he got to spend all that money to keep his freedom on lawyers, man. So one way or another, the money was going to have to get spent, whether it's blown on jewelry and designer clothes, whether it's to move out and actually do good with it, try to get your family in a better situation to avoid these things, or you keep going down the same path you're going down, and the bread is going to eventually, inevitably have to be spent to get
It's
your
gonna
ass
dry
out of
up.
bond.
Right.
It's gonna dry up, man. And look,
Right.
man, Dirk ain't built for this whole system. So that's why he's not going to make it to where even if they had everything on him, he's still gonna cooperate enough to at least get out the jam. Because the people he's dealing with, the people he knows, he gonna give up the right hand man, the second guy in line,
And they
whatever it
not
is to
gonna
get him
think
out.
Dirk did it. They not gonna think Dirk did it at all.
He gonna play innocent.
And the reason they ain't gonna think Dirk did it is because they gonna sit there and say, no, Dirk ain't gonna say that, but they gonna think everybody under Dirk did it. Watch. The
Man.
receipts
So
here.
if you learn anything from this, just know when it's a certain point where you got to weigh out the pros and the cons of whether you should, stay where you're at, if it's dangerous to it, if it's a certain type of like, if being where you're at is gonna force you to have to do something you're not supposed to do,
You gotta
then
get a
I'm sorry,
bulletproof
but that
car.
you got to get or that's maybe just not the right place for you to be hanging around. You could
Mm-hmm.
spend the money on a bulletproof car, but what happens when you get out of the car? You got to see the whole Dolph situation to understand. You could have the money, you could have the riches, and you could give back to your community. But if your area has to force you to ride around with it when you're not supposed to have one anyways, then it's not a safe place to be. Period. And it's probably everything a sign trying to tell you maybe you should move to LA, maybe you should move to Seattle or something. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, they say, you know what? This is where I'm from. I'm gonna is live or die by the sword. A lot of people, they put their pride in the way. They say, no, I want to give back to where my grandma grew up. No, I'm not going to turn my back on my people. Nobody ever said just because you move into a place where you can actually focus and work better, no one ever said that's considered turning your back on people. If anything, the right people will understand if Lil J would have moved on, that they can come visit him whenever they want. And they don't have to worry about ops following them when they go to his neighborhood. They don't have Lil J doesn't have to sit and worry about keeping tabs on who's coming in and out of his neighborhood. If he moves
Exactly.
somewhere nice, like if he moves
The
somewhere like
BDs
let's say,
moved out.
yeah. So if you go somewhere where your ops ain't there and you play it cool, but at least now you got the new location and you master the location, so you know where the threats can come from. Anybody that is super into like moving a certain type of way, any room you walk into, you will know how to get out of it. If anything went down, where the exits are, the entrance. Basically, you calculating how you gonna get out the jam if something was to go down. But that
Exactly.
mindset is thrown out the window when it comes to choosing where to stay, where to live, where to lay your head at night. Biggie Smalls said, do not serve or do anything the same place where you lay your head. That goes for exercising, beefing, and diss songs or anything like that. Don't lay your head there where you're doing the disses. Don't lay your head where you're keeping the pole. Don't be laying your head in the same city that you got to ride with a pole no matter what. Maybe you should have slept in Milwaukee and then came and did your business in Chicago or something. You see,
Right.
it's a lot of ways you got to think about it, man.
You know, a lot of people
Like
they
this
be
video.
sleep. They be sleep. Share this video most importantly. Hey, I want y'all to realize, look at the fact that Stimmy Films, he know what he talking about because he right there in Chicago right now. Y'all gotta really pay attention to that, man, and subscribe to Stimmy Films too. If you subscribe to Stimmy Films, you will see Lil J content. You will see Lil Durk content. Like y'all gotta understand, Lil Durk ain't playing no games. Lil Durk putting a bag on everything that's walking. You gotta look at that, man. Lil Durk lost so many people, so he realized gotta sit back and
Yeah,
really play the cut and just put the dollars on top of the tops. You feel me? At the end of the day, that's what he
exactly, man.
like. That's what we seeing. Like we know for a fact. Like and then again, Kodak Black, it goes back to this situation. Like I know a lot of people from Florida look at Kodak Black like Kodak Black, he did this, he did that. Man, Kodak Black not wrong for none he did. That they shouldn't have had him on that ground like that. Why did they have him on that ground like that? First of all, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And second of all, if Kodak Black got locked up for this or that, why you put him on the ground? You could have realized had him on the car like a regular person. You feel me, Stimmy?
Yeah, man, that stuff looked all weird and shady, man. I feel like a lot of these rappers are being followed and watched 24/7, and that it's the people around them who are
That's
verifying whether
giving
they
a
got it
drop.
on them or not. And so, look, I want y'all to understand this too. As I'm looking down from the high rise downtown Chicago, I'm hearing people bumping Lil J, yelling free Lil J, and they bumping Kodak Black, man. So it's like, if you really want these people to be free, take action and don't follow in the same and make the same mistakes. That's what we're trying to let y'all be, at least know that for a jump. And that way you could say, okay, now I know what not to do. Don't ride around with this if you got this on you, or maybe have somebody there. Like you could have had Wooski, just like you said. He could have had Wooski there. That would have probably been your best security guard, man. He
Exactly.
he would have mowed down the lawn, man, on O Block. Like if anything would have happened and he would have got into any kind of situation, Booski would have been able to take the fall, but maybe he might have the right standing and when it comes to the laws, and he might be able to actually get out that jam and not be booked just for the fact that the Constitution. You feel me?
Yeah, you know how it go, man. At the end of the day, we know for a fact that for them be tweaking, G, and for them know what they be doing. They in their right state of mind. Like with the whole situation with Wooski and Vernie, you got to understand. Vernie went to Hap Park. Vernie was into it with all type of motherfuckers, G. That's why he in the fucking wheelchair, folks. A lot of people try to figure out why is Vernie in a wheelchair. He was in tour with so many people. Y'all gotta understand. Vernie used to be over there on 64th with Young Money, not the 051 Young Money. I'm talking about the BD's Young Money. He used to be over there with them. He used to be with O Block, and then he used to be through there. You got to understand who Vernie people is. Vernie, one of them guys. Y'all got to really look at that, man. Vernie, one of them guys at the end of the day. Shout out to Vernie, because at the end of the day, we know that's that's one of them cats, folk. Like at the end of the day, we know Vernie, one of them real niggas, folk. Like we know that Dirk just came up in the game, but Vernie been in the game for a long time. Vernie was in the game since the buildings was up. Vernie, one of
Mm-hmm.
them niggas. You gotta understand, Vernie, he ain't did nothing wrong to nobody. Vernie tried to survive through the streets, man, through the trenches. Vernie only in the wheelchairs because he got into it with all them people. You gotta understand, man. Before TY and all them got sent up. You feel me? You gotta
Yeah.
understand. Vernie was over there,
Mm.
over there by university, over there by the crank. He was over there by that. You feel me? He wasn't sitting back. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like